Hello and welcome. My name is Lloyd Burrell. My mission is sharing solutions and raising awareness so that we can all live a happy and healthy life in our electromagnetic world. Today, I'm thrilled to have as my guest Dr. Lisa Raskin. Dr. Lisa is a chiropractic physician providing Ayurveda and functional health care. She is one of only 7 physicians certified worldwide in the teachings of Shaka Vansya Ayurveda. Dr. Lisa's focus is on helping those who are highly sensitive to their environments and to traditional remedies. Being quite sensitive herself, as we're going to discover, Vedya Mishra once told her, "You will be the one to take care of the sensitive people." As a biochemist at Stanford Research Institute, Dr. Lisa studied Ayurvedic herbs and their effect on the immune system, and she's also studied extensively in the fields of functional endocrinology, functional blood chemistry, epigenetics, autoimmune conditions, and the effects and treatment of electromagnetic radiation exposure. Dr. Lisa is based in Florida, and you can learn more about her work at somaradiantwellness.com. So that's Soma, S-O-M-A, radiantwellness.com, all one word. Dr. Lisa, welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be
here. It's great to have you on and to be, it's really, you have such a unique approach, I think, to this whole EMF question. And so I'm really excited to be diving into this with you. And it feels like a bit of an East meets West approach. And yeah, and so let me just start by asking you,
Yes.
Your story. How did this all start for you?
The way I got into studying the effects of EMFs. My dad died. My husband and I moved into a condo right next door to my mom to support her. And within a month or two, Lloyd, I was experiencing lightning flashes through my field of vision for 20 minutes at a time. It was very scary. My husband had to go to the hospital for heart arrhythmia. And a friend of mine told me all about all these devices that you could measure radiation. And we hired a building biologist. Turns out we were living right above 24 smart meters.
Oh.
That's my story.
Yeah.
So and ever since, we've been regaining our health, but it's a nasty situation. Once you're sensitive, I have not seen anybody go back to be able to holding a phone next to their ear, etc. We can feel good, but we can't do the things that other people are doing, which are damaging anyway, right?
And when was that, Lisa? Is that recent?
No, that happened 2017, 18. And we moved out of there. And I started studying everything I could. I mean, reading all the papers, the Bioinitiative Project, all those studies. And what I always try to do is look at the methods that other doctors use and try to make them more natural, try to find the components in them that are active, that are similar to herbs and things like that, so we don't do any more damage with pharmaceuticals. Yeah.
So really, you got this whole background and career, I can say, in health and in studying health, and you've studied with this Ayurvedic doctor, and this was all before all of this happened to you. And then, so you had this experience, and then it was like, well, how can I use everything I've learned to help myself and help other people? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, yeah. And then, previous to that, Vedya Mishra, who is my mentor, well, this is a funny story. I'll try to make it fast, and I'm jumping way ahead. But in this lineage of Ayurveda that I'm in, it's very clean. In other words, many others people learn from books and school and translations. This knowledge is passed from generation to generation. And And when he went, my teacher went to Ayurvedic medical school for 7 years. And then he goes back to his little village and he's ready to treat people. And his father said, no, now you watch me for 7 years and learn the family secrets. So I'm so way ahead of myself, but I want to tell you this story. His father sent him to London, and this was before cell phones. This is like 1991. And Vaidya Mishra had only felt the pulses of people in his village. There was not even electricity there. And this is how we diagnose when we're in person with someone. I have ways to do it on Zoom, etc. But he felt in the pulse something he'd never felt. And he called his father, and his father sits there and then says to him, lightning. This is what happens to the human body when struck by lightning. And his father said, a lot of these people, you know, who are in distress because they were living under high tension wires. And Vaidya Mishra, when he has cases where people are injured severely, he tells them to bury themselves in the sand for 3 days. And this was way before cell phones. These are people who are working in telecommunications, etc. And then their pulses went back to normal. So I don't know how we got off on that, but
which makes very much sense given everything I know about the healing powers of the earth and what we call earthing or grounding, and this energetic exchange. And I'm sure you're aware of this energetic exchange, which we have, whether we are aware of it or not, with the earth. And we have it all the time, actually. But when we have the direct connection with the earth, there's something rather magical that happens, isn't there?
it's potent.
Yeah.
Hugging a tree, you know, another way is walking under a full moon by water, because you receive a certain frequency that is extremely nourishing to the body. I kind of want to jump and tell you about, you know, how this all fits in, but I'm going to wait.
Please do, yeah.
So Ayurveda, I don't know, you've probably heard of Ayurveda. Everyone's heard of Vata, Pitta, Kapha, right? The 3 energies that everyone knows about that are in the environment and in the body. But in this lineage, we don't start with Vata, Pitta, Kapha. We start with something called Prana. And I know you've heard of Prana. It's a life force, right? And it's real. It's a vibrational life force. And it's got 3 aspects, Soma, Agni, and Marut. You don't have to worry about that. But Soma is that healing energy from the moon that we don't have enough of, because the EMFs and our environment has just burnt that energy out of us. So a lot of what I do is tell people how to get more Soma. But anyway, so we've got that Prana. And so back up a little. We know that we have channels in our body, physical channels, the blood vessels, the big intestines, the smaller arterioles, all the material in our body circulates through these channels, right? And there's the piece that's missing a lot is that there's another channel system besides the physical. It's called the vibrational channel.
Yes.
And in Ayurveda, they're called nadis, Nadis. And these nadis run throughout the body and they circulate the prana. Prana goes through the spine, through all the arms and legs, to all the cells, down to the molecules. And it's life force. This is how our body makes our tissues and heals ourselves. It's a joke if we say the herb is doing the healing. The herb's got a frequency that maybe works with us or not, our own, right? And so this leads me to the next piece. I'm going to try to get this fast so then we can talk about solutions.
Yeah.
But I want to give the basis of why.
Please do.
So we've got the 2 channels, and then we've got 4 types of toxins. I gave you a PowerPoint of that. And this is from most Ayurveda, they know of one toxin called ama. And ama is a very sticky, goopy substance that occurs when food is not digested well and it gets stuck in joints and things like that. But over time, in this lineage, as the environment has changed, the Vaidya's or master doctors would get together and upgrade and update. So they started to recognize something called Ama Visha, Visha. Visha means poison. And that happens when that Ama that's just sitting there in your knee gets operated on by some fermented material, some, oxidized material in the body, and then it becomes Visha, Ama Visha, and it's very a hot toxin. And we noticed that seems to be at the root of a lot of autoimmune cases that we see. Well, then they noticed a third type of toxin, because all of a sudden, not only is the body making toxins, but human beings are putting toxins in the environment, pesticides, chemicals, you name it, graphene oxide in the air. I mean, it's everywhere. And that has a different quality than the other two. And that's called Garvisha, Garvisha. And each toxin has to be removed differently because their qualities are different. And so that's one of the things I do, is recognize what kind of toxin there is and remove it. Because as you know, EMFs, we feel the effects of them much more when we have a toxic body. So, the rain barrel effect.
Yeah.
So Vaidya Mishra, he discovered, which of course he didn't, but he added it. This was his contribution to the lineage, this fourth major type of toxin, EMFs, called, you ready for this? Indra Vajra Abhijanya Visha. And it means the thunderbolt of Indra, who is this like big god. And so now I'm going to pull it together. We've got the four toxins, right? Well, the first three toxins, the Ama Visha, and the Garvisha, they travel along the physical channels.
Okay.
And it can take decades for their effect to show up. I was going to tell you about tissue levels, but...
So is it like the vibrational channels overlay or follow or close to the physical channels?
Yeah, I'm getting there. So the vibrational, the prana flows through the vibrational channels, and the EMFs jump on, hijack the prana, really F with it, if you know what I mean, and distort. And so we don't make good tissue. We can't heal our tissue. And, there was this other PowerPoint, which I don't know you'll use, but the other thing we know, the last big Ayurvedic thing I want to talk about, is called Dhatus, Dhatus. They're tissue levels. And what happens is there's one more subtle than the next. It's just genius how we this has been passed on, and we know this knowledge, because I was a biochemist. I thought I knew a lot, but I know a pinpoint. Yeah. So what happens is we eat food, and the first food that the body makes is lymph, that clear plasma. Some of that, and this is really, really made simple, but some of that goes to the liver, becomes our blood type and our blood. Some of that becomes muscle, some of that becomes fat, some of that becomes our bone, some of that becomes our bone marrow, some of that becomes our reproductive tissue, and some of that becomes something called ojas, which is a very refined material that is aligned somewhat with our hormones and neurotransmitters. So what happens is, if you've got Amavisha or Garvisha, Amavisha is that hot autoimmune toxin, Garvisha, that really sharp toxin. Like I said, it takes decades to work its way down to, say, the bone marrow, where it all breaks loose, and we get Hashimoto's and rheumatoid arthritis, et cetera, et cetera. But here's the kicker. The EMFs, they jump the gaps. One day they're in the lymph, and the next day they are in the bone marrow. That's why you see children with brain cancer, because they didn't have to wait decades. So this is serious, you know?
This, so what you're saying is EMFs accelerates
They
this.
jump the gaps.
Mm,
Yes. They jump the gaps. They hijack the good prana, and Vijay called them synthetic prana because it's empty and distorted and just damages the body.
mm. And it's there's something really different about EMS. Well, it's a frequency toxin, and I know you said frequency a few times, and it's so important because this is something that I like to try and communicate. My understanding of the body is that the way I explain it is that we are energetic beings of frequency first and foremost. And it's not like, right, okay, you give me a thumbs up. So it's not like, so yeah, the biochemistry is important. And yeah, there's so many, conventional um, medical understandings which are important, notably with regard to the physical anatomy. I don't think we're far wrong. Modern medicine has pretty much figured all of that out. But with regard to well, there is a lack of acknowledgement even of the energetic anatomy, as I call it.
Yes, and it's crazy because that's at the basis of the physical. The
Exactly.
physical wouldn't exist without it.
Exactly. And that is really important. So it's not like we're putting them side by side.
Right.
It's like this is really everything comes from the energy body or
Yes.
the energetic anatomy, call it what you will, but everything comes from energy. And it's this energy, and correct me if I'm wrong again, I'm just trying to simplify this for people. It's an energy information model. It's not just energy, it's
Right.
an intelligent energy. So it's energy and information.
Oh,
And it
you're wonderful. I have to tell you a refinement of what you just said. I had said there's prana, and there's three aspects of the prana: soma,
yeah,
agni, and marut. Soma is that healing, nourishing energy that comes from the moon, lunar energy. Agni is that heating, transformational energy that comes from the sun. This is real energy that interacts with the body in
yeah,
different ways. But the third one is what you just described. I just love it. You described Marut, Marut. Marut is that energy of the space that's in charge, that has intelligence, that tells the others where to go and what to do.
yes.
So it's brilliant.
And it is, and it's so important. And it seems as though if we don't have this understanding of energy, and clearly you have an understanding. I mean, nobody's ever. I've spoke to a lot of people about this, and this is just not known. This, I mean, even the whole energetic anatomy. There's people that kind of know it, but they're not taking it on board. Do you know?
That's why I'm here.
So, because of the difference between knowing something on an intellectual level and there's something about actually doing it, And I mean, just an aside, I work with energy every day, so I feel it, It's just, and other
Uh,
people do as well. There are a lot of people out there that do this,
yeah,
and is there science behind what I do? Yeah, but not directly. I don't have peer-reviewed proof of everything I'm doing, but it doesn't matter that. But the point is that we are energetic beings and we all have access to our energetic nature. And if we can begin to understand just how important this is, which I think is what you're saying, because you're like filling out um you're filling out this framework of understanding really what health is about, and it's really first and foremost about understanding your energy system and this energetic anatomy. And if you start there and then work down to the physical, then I'm sure that there'd be a lot less suffering in this world.
yeah. And I feel that if many people could have this understanding, of what the actual human physiology is like, both, physical and vibrational, then I don't know, I think it would change things because, for instance, we wouldn't take synthetic vitamins, we'd take whole things, There's so much.
Yes. Yes.
But
So when we've got this understanding, what you're saying is it really changes everything about what we eat, about
yes,
what we do, about our relationships, about everything, because we understand it's all energy, and it's all like a feedback system.
mhm,
It's all like we're these emitters receivers, and so everything you do has it's like it's like throwing a pebble on a pond. It's
yes,
got this vibrational effect, and
yes.
at some point it comes back and washes over you. Is that fair to say?
I think, yeah, all of life is that way. I mean, we're not just this body anyway. I think that our body's inside us, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
We're way bigger than this body. But that's a whole other podcast, maybe.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot to explore here, and I'm just curious, just to get back to EMFs, if we can.
Yeah,
So you said that these EMFs are hijacking this prana. So this prana is this life force, this subtle energy, which is we've got really difficulty finding a term for it, but it's really absolutely vital, essential. I
yeah,
mean, when we no longer have this life force, this prana, then life stops. That's how it essentially is.
yeah. And I think the reason, we're in a scientific age. So the reason that it's not studied, it's hard to study. There are some people that do, but you can't find a pharmaceutical to do something with it, right? I mean, the world runs on business. But
Yes.
so yeah, I interrupted you. But
No.
there are things we can do to actually clean the vibrational body. That's, I love giving the knowledge, but I kind of
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to get onto that. But first, I just want to pick your brain on the
yeah,
EMF bit. Like, so you said to me the EMFs are hijacking this prana. Is this all EMFs? Is this what you're saying? Because you said to me about smart meters, so that's radio frequency, microwave radiation. And I know you're very well versed in this because your husband, as I understand it, is a building
he's the
biologist.
one. He's the one that he's the EMRS and
So
all
he's
that.
the
He's the
EMF expert,
tech
but
guy.
you're very well versed on it, I know. So in your view, is it all EMFs? I mean, is there any, can
Right,
we
right.
say different EMFs are hijacking the prana in different ways? Is there any refinement that we have
Oh,
to make?
yes, there is. And I, it's, you're going to make me get this booklet out. But I was shocked when I read this. Vaidya Mishra wrote a book on EMFs, and he delineated the difference between EMR and EMF and which of the vibrational frequencies affect which. But first of all, cell towers, cell phones, dirty electricity, magnetic fields. I mean, you know Arthur Furstenberg, correct?
Yes.
Well, I mean, his whole thing is even electricity. How some people are that sensitive. Let me find my little booklet. I'm just going to read from this book because it's just fascinating to me. EMR pollutes the Agni aspect of prana, that transformational heating aspect from the sun, while EMF corrupts the Marut aspect, the intelligent aspect of prana. And he said, in nature and in our body, Marut is responsible for the intelligence of how much transformation of soma should take place. Soma gets transformed and changed and become parts of our body, right? It governs how much soma needs to be transformed at any particular time or place. Agni is responsible for the actual act of transformation of soma. Marut tells Agni how much to transform and when to transform it. Exposure to low frequency EMF corrupts the basic intelligence of Marut, the intelligence part, so that it can no longer access how much soma is needed to be transformed. And on the other hand, exposure to EMR can disturb and pollute the power of the actual active Agni in transforming. And there's a lot more here. I can actually type it up and send it to you, and you can post it.
Okay.
Pretty
Yeah.
cool, right?
So, very cool. Yeah. Yeah. So there is, it's not sort of a blanket thing, as I suspected. It really is, there is really, it seems like a frequency thing, you know? Yeah, different
Yeah,
frequencies are interacting with different levels, or yeah, different levels of subtle energy. These this soma, this agri, and this
different
Maru-
types.
different
Because
types. Yeah.
prana is made of soma from the moon, Agni, sun, and Marut, that intelligence.
Yes.
And so I thought that EMR and EMF were the same thing, and they're not.
No, because, well, generally, different people have got different definitions, but EMR, we're talking about, so radiation, we're talking about radio
Yeah,
frequency microwave radiation, which is the gigahertz, and
yeah,
EMF, we also
low
call
frequency, low
yeah,
frequency.
exactly. See, ELF, so that's low frequency, so it's like magnetic fields,
Yeah,
electric fields, dirty electricity, perhaps, which is sort of in between the two.
yes.
But yeah, so this is it's really interesting how this Ayurvedic knowledge has been applied to this 21st century problem, really, isn't it? That's what it's about.
But it makes sense. You know, Vaidya Mishra used to say Ayurveda is the handbook for the human body. It's that ancient. And the fact that his lineage kept upgrading it and not losing anything
Yes.
makes this possible. And I'm so grateful, I mean, that I got to learn with him.
So the $1 million question is, does this work? Because you're using this, yeah?
I am. And well, I mean, the reason I'm talking to you is a patient got better and contacted you. So it works.
It works.
But, you know, I was thinking about this. It's not basically what we're doing is cleaning the distorted prana out of the system. We're removing it. Now there's a sentence, you know, I'm going to have to read it. Let me just find it. Yeah. So there's something called Marma therapy. And you've heard of it? No.
Nope.
So Marma are kind of like junction points in the nadis. And by contacting
So the
them,
nadis are these vibrational channels, very,
yeah,
very tiny, tiny.
yes, teeny, teeny. And by contacting certain points in those channels in a certain way with Vaidya Mishra, he was a genius product formulator. You know, nowadays people go, oh, something for your heart, let's throw in hawthorn and niacin and but in actuality, things have to flow and work together or you'll hurt yourself. And there's a whole branch of Ayurveda that teaches how to formulate a remedy. So he was like a master formulator, and he formulated these transdermal creams that do different things because, well, let me back up. When he first came to the US, he was giving people his herbs, and everyone was breaking out in boils and horrible things because we're so toxic. In India, the only time the food is not yellow is at a funeral. Turmeric is in everything, the liver, that does like 500 biochemical reactions. And if you made it into a factory, it would be 1 mile long and 1 mile wide, Baiji used to say. So he couldn't use these pills. And he's like, what am I going to do? So he put the active aspects or the holistic into these transdermal creams, shea butter and some essential oils to take them where they need to go. So anyway, some of these are used in Marma therapy, and it's very powerful in releasing the prana, the unused prana, and doing all kinds of things. There's different levels of Marma. You can do lots of healing, but for the EMFs, there's luckily one thing a person can start doing, because you had said what would be something.
Yes.
And, it does require a purchase, but it's a small purchase. I'm not about making a fortune or anything. But you can buy a little sample of this stuff. It's called Prana Flow, and it's a transdermal which evacuates the unused prana. And I gave you a tiny URL on a PowerPoint and realized a tiny URL is not a hyperlink. So I'll send you the hyperlink.
Please. Yes.
But anyway.
So this Prana Flow is what exactly? It's like a roll-on thing?
It's either, this one's a roll-on. You could get it in a cream, but I like the roll-on. But what you do with it is the coolest. You put some on your fingers because it's vibrational. You don't need to use a ton. And you swipe down the spine, because the spine is called the sushumna in Ayurveda, in Marma therapy. It is the biggest receptor of prana. The prana comes in here at the top of the head. It's called the Adipati Marma, and people will know it as the bregma, that soft spot when babies are born, that the bones aren't fused. It comes in there and it travels down the spine. So we swipe this prana flow down the spine, if we can, 7 times, because it kind of goes to the 7 tissue levels. And what it does is it cleans these vibrational channels, and then we swipe 3 times like this, arms and then knees to feet, and it just cleans down to the cellular level, this vibrational toxin. And I have people do this several times a day in the beginning. And I mean, you can, like, sometimes you're at your computer and you're getting more and more tired. You put this on your wrist and all of a sudden you're awake, because it got rid of the synthetic prana. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And, and it's not like, oh, it's going to cure every issue. It's just, this is a good start,
Yes.
And then, go ahead. You were going to say.
So this is something, because I'm just trying to picture following down your spine with anything.
Yeah.
Don't you need to have somebody who can do this for you? Is this something you can do yourself?
It is. I tell people, because I'm on Zoom all day with people, you go as far down on one hand and then the other.
Okay.
And, you just do the best you can. You'll feel it. If you've got somebody that can actually go down 7 times while you're lying down, it's very powerful.
And how long does that take to do that in a day, this whole thing?
Well, I mean, I can put it down probably less than a minute.
Okay.
And I tell people, the apps, if you're only going to do it once a day, do it after you've shut off all your screens, you're in your bedroom. Hopefully you've shut off the power to your bedroom, all that stuff. And then you do it, because it gets rid of all that yucky static prana. But also, you can do it in the morning. People feel like it's very energizing. You can do it as much as you want. I often keep some right here at the desk, and I just put it on my wrist, and it kind of wakes me up.
Yeah. Okay. Sound fantastic. And that is very inexpensive. What is it?
Well,
$10,
I don't know,
$50, $100?
Oh, I wish I knew. I can look real quick.
Well, no, anyway, it's an inexpensive.
I think the sample is less than 20.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. So that's something everybody can do already. Thank you for sharing that, which is inexpensive. And I think it's, I'm guessing that the way to do this is really just to try it for a few days, try it for a week, and see how you feel. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's a good start. There's a lot of other things that we do. He formulated different, the prana comes in through all the holes. So the eyes, the ears, the mouth. So he has different formulations to clean those. But I usually give those after someone's done the swiping for a while, because it can be powerful to clean those. But also, there is a sequence of Marma points that can be worked on that just pretty much goes deeper and opens up more of the channels and cleans them. And I am, I'm very slow. I love seeing people one-to-one, and I'm learning how to talk to a group, or I'm thinking of having a little workshop where people would buy a little, samples of these, would be like 3 different creams, whatever. And I would teach them how to do I think it's about 12 points. So I was thinking of doing that. If a person becomes my patient, I usually teach them one-on-one, but people don't have to be my patient to learn this. That's crazy.
Yes.
And what else was I going to say?
So we've got the Prana Flow. We've got this sequence of
Marma.
Marma
Yeah,
therapy, as you call it.
yeah, yeah.
So those two things that is really easy and inexpensive to do,
Yes.
and there is information on both of these things on your website, I'm sure. No? Or people reach out to you. Well,
They can reach out to me. If they go to my website, there's a contact form.
yeah, there's a contact form. And so those are two things. Anything else here that's easy to do that
Yeah.
people can sort of hit the ground running?
So the other thing, I feel like it wouldn't be right if I didn't say this. Yes, I go after the EMFs. Most everybody, but especially the people I have a separate intake form just for EMF issues. Do you hold your phone? Stuff like that.
So hang on. So just back up a little. So what you're
Yeah,
saying is you work with lots of people with
yeah,
lots of different issues,
yeah,
but whatever they're coming to you for, you are looking at the EMF question and you're trying to ascertain exactly how
yes.
they're interacting with this technology.
Because it complicates and magnifies every chronic illness. Oh my God. It's more than additive. If you've got let's say you have heavy metals, and that will really. The other thing I do is I love testing. I'm an Ayurvedic. Ayurveda is like the core of my practice, and the core of my philosophy is at what cost. I don't want to give anybody anything that helps them now but hurts them down the road. And that comes from my teacher as well. But
But when you say at what cost, actually, Lisa, what you're saying is not dollars and cents. You're
yeah,
talking
oh,
about
yeah,
what,
yeah.
yeah.
I'll give you explanation. For instance, if you want energy, take some cocaine,
Yeah. At what
right?
cost? Exactly.
Bingo,
Cost.
bingo.
So it's like a personal cost to your health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, if someone comes to me of complaining, not many people come complaining of EMF toxicity, even though that's the situation. So that's why I have a separate like handout and form for them to fill out. Number one, so they can think, oh, it's educating.
Yes.
Number two, it helps me help them. They get for every single person, my dear husband gives them a free consultation because he's doing it for me, but
Yes.
for like he's telling people how to wire their computer or get a cutoff switch, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
And so,
So,
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
no,
I still didn't
carry
get
on. Yeah, carry
across
on.
one thing. So my point is, most of the people I see have chronic illness, like autoimmune diseases, things like that, and they've tried everything. So not only do I help with the EMF complication, Vijay Mishra has vibrational herbal remedies for so many things to cool the immune system. So much of the problem is an overheated immune system. And then people are treating the liver with, say, milk thistle, which makes it even worse. I mean, I know a lot of things that can help people.
Mm.
So I help them heal from what's going on with them, but the EMF issue is part of it, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And so, as I understand it, what you're saying is people are coming to see you for all different problems, and pretty much all the time, EMFs in some way are playing a part in their problem. Pretty much all the time. Is that fair to say?
Even if they don't admit it.
Yeah, and like so, yeah, and so it's not even that they don't admit it, it's they're not aware of it. They just
Yeah,
it never entered their, they
right.
never heard of this.
Right,
What are EMFs? Oh, my
right.
cell phone is yeah, I use it to talk to people, but that's it. How could that be a problem to my health? You know?
You know, well, I mean, what can we do? The powers that be will not educate the public on the poison that exists. So we just have to sneak it in there so that
Yes.
they can be educated, right? So you're coming to me for autoimmune thyroid, and I'm going to help you fix your gut, the immune system. The seat of the immune system's in the gut, right? And we're going to cool down the immune system, and it'll make it more intelligent through this system, and maybe detox the level of the bone marrow. And guess what? What we have to do is make sure no EMFs don't reach there. So let's make your bedroom a sanctuary. We can
Yes,
do it that way.
absolutely. So yeah, so that's interesting what you say there about how it reaches the bone marrow. About this, is this like a tipping point when it does that?
Yes, yes. Once it reaches the bone marrow, you will start seeing autoimmune things like that.
So this can take years, if not decades, and you might not get any symptoms. And then,
Oh, excellent point. So, you know, we build what Vijay called a samprapti circle, which everything that contributes, genetics, diet, emotional body, stress, mental, pharmaceuticals, whatever. And eventually the circle goes on its own. So we have to break the circle somewhere. So I forgot what I was saying. What was my point?
we start off on the bone marrow and how it
Oh,
gets.
yeah. So it takes a while, these hot toxins, to get to the level of the bone marrow. And Vijaya we can't take these whole herbs. I'm sorry, people, it's too harsh. So we prepare the channels that I talked about, because all the channels of elimination have to be healthy and not super hot and irritated or shrunken or hard. So it's like the kidneys, the gut, the colon, the skin. Make sure we're got it prepared. Make sure the gut is doing its job. Then we have gentle herbs that actually pull out these toxins. We have different ones for different types of toxins. We have different ones for autoimmune toxins, different one for metals. So that's what I was saying, was you can feel it in the pulse, but I love to do testing. I love to use Western tests, but then use my remedies, right? Our remedies. I love testing for heavy metals. These days, mycotoxins are huge. So many things.
Yeah. So when somebody contacts you
Mhm.
with XYZ health problem, the starting point, as I understand it, is this survey. You get people to fill in a survey. They've got this questionnaire asking lots of questions, EMF questions, and you're trying to get people like already okay asking themselves questions about, oh yeah, well, actually I do use a cell phone, and yeah, I've got Wi-Fi at home. I never thought of that, and all those kind of things. And and then you, as I understand it, you do this lab testing. So this is very Western. You have lab tests done on people. Is
Sometimes.
sometimes?
It depends on their pocketbook, because tests can be expensive. What I do, I offer, so that you don't have to do all this for me. I offer a free conversation. Like, it's on my website, they can click, and there's no pressure. And I like to even give a couple tips, just to kind of they can get to know me if they want to work with me.
Yes.
And if they go, yeah, the forms are insane. I've got 30 pages of questions.
Yeah.
And then we meet for the first visit, and we discuss what labs can we run, what can you afford, etc.,
Yeah.
and go from there.
Okay. And obviously different for everybody. Everybody is a universe unto themselves. I think you said to me, you wrote to me, which I love. And this sort of microcosm, macrocosm, this sort of fractal um, way of everything's interconnected,
Yeah.
And So how long does it take people, again, everybody's different, but how long might it take somebody who's comes to you with an EMF problem to
Yeah.
get them to functioning and to be feel better? Not fully resolved, but to feel better. How long?
Like I said, everyone's different. And, if they're willing to, as you know, the biggest issue is stop the problem, mitigate. I mean, it's like if you don't do that, it's like pouring water in a bucket with a hole in it. And the other day I thought of an even better one. It's like trying to heal a burn while you're in the fire.
Yeah.
So honestly, mitigation is number one. And if they can do that, if they can hire an EMRS person and find out where the problems are in their home, if they're willing to not touch their cell phone, all these things we know, right?
Yes. And all of
So,
these things are they're not that difficult, but they do require a bit of effort. And it does
yes,
require to take that effort, a little
yeah,
bit of understanding of just how potentially harmful
yeah,
these frequencies are. If we don't really understand the danger, we're not
yeah.
going to take the action.
And actually, though, I know you've seen this. If they know that's the issue, they really know. The EHS, the electro hypersensitive people, I mean, Arthur Furstenberg, I just got to tell you this. We used to live in Boulder and we were following him. And I don't know how it happened, but we wound up talking on the phone because, he wanted me to contact Elon Musk's brother, who had a restaurant in Boulder to have an influence. But he wouldn't stay on the phone with me because he could feel that I was on a cell phone.
Oh,
He felt the EMFs.
mm.
That's how sensitive he is.
Yes,
So the EHS people are so sensitive. They're probably going to go, oh, tell me everything. I'll do everything.
yes. And
But
then the other
yeah,
issue is when we are EMF sensitive like that, when we have this hypersensitivity, is that we're so much in fight or flight.
yeah,
Everything triggers us, And I
yes,
mean, I've lived through this, and so that's
yes.
like, so you can explain it, but if you're in a state of fear, you
Right.
can't heal until you get out of the fear.
I have someone like this right now. And so there's one set of Marma therapy that I'm going to teach at that workshop, uh, has a direct effect on the limbic system and the vagal system, which are two big issues that get out of balance, two big systems that
Yeah.
get out of balance. It's three little Marma things. I mean, it's so simple.
So you're
Um,
talking about little exercises we do,
it's
physical.
I almost want to tell you, I'm going to tell you what to do, but but I'm giving you the wrong cream. I shouldn't do it because
Yeah.
it's not
Well,
perfect, but I want to give away how to do it. At some
okay.
point, maybe we could do that.
Well, we can organize that. Yeah.
Yeah.
When this podcast goes
But
out, it'll go out in a while. It won't be
yeah,
probably for a few months, so we've got time to figure that
cool.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what
Wait,
else do we, yeah, tell me
I
what else?
didn't, I
Yeah.
didn't answer you. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm going all over the place because I'm excited.
You are, and you've got a lot to share, and I can feel
Yeah.
that, and it's
Yeah.
really important. But yeah, you're doing great. Please carry on.
So you were asking how long it takes. I don't know. I mean, everybody's different. If people do everything I tell them and also let me work on their physical, with healing the different physical channels, I feel like if they're doing the Marma, they should feel something right away.
Mm,
Right away. It's not like, oh, I'm healed and now I'm going to use my cell phone, but there's more ease, there's more space,
yes.
there's more ease for being.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Um,
then I was going to give you I've written some tips. So we
please.
did the
Yeah.
Marma, the grounding, which goes back to ancient times. Oh yeah, drinking alkaline spring water. Everybody says, oh, don't drink bottled water and blah, blah, blah. But I guess if you can get it Mountain Valley here in the US comes in bottles, but spring water, oh, if you could get natural spring water, like from a spring, it's full of so much prana. Because what happens is once we treat water and chlorine by whatever means, it kills the prana. It doesn't matter what device you're throwing at it, the
Yeah.
prana is gone. So he loves spring water.
Yeah. So when I hear spring water, I'm thinking structured water, and I'm sure you're aware of the work
I'm
that,
aware of it as long as it's not from the tap that's been acted on in some way.
yes.
It's got, because once it goes through any system, it's killed. The life force, the vibrational force is killed.
Yeah.
That's what Bhajan Mishra says. I've not tried those waters. I should try them. Because, he's gone now. Maybe if he tried it, but, I'm open to try it.
Yeah.
And then, this other thing, which is, something my husband, I say discovered, but he read about, and it blew our minds because we are living like in a zero EMF house. It's amazing. And one day he read about, about the woodpecker effect?
No.
Well, oh my gosh, somebody discovered this. It's a frequency that's constant if you have your TV plugged in, even if it's turned off. And so he put one of his devices, and you could hear it, a woodpecker, click, 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 click.
Okay.
And we shut it off, even though, the TV wasn't even in the bedroom, and we slept like so much better. So unplug your TV no matter where it is in the house is another tip.
Yes.
And then, and this is from him. I asked him for his 3 top tips. And of course, you don't have your cell phone in your bedroom. You unplug every single thing in your bedroom at night if you can't shut off the power to it. Unplug your wireless router no matter where it is in the house. And yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
And then let me just make sure I told you everything I want to tell you about what to do. The testing. Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. Wow. Okay. So we're pretty much running out of time.
Really?
Yeah, we've gone. Yeah.
That was fun.
Is there anything else we need to speak about here, which is important to share with people? So, any understandings or any practical things you feel which you want to share here before we close off?
There is something. It's Ayurvedic, and it has to do with times of day. And there's Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, which I talked about. They rule different times of day. So Pitta rules between 10 and 2. And that Pitta is associated with that Agni from the sun, right? The energy and frequency of Agni. And it's a transformational energy. That's the best time to eat your biggest meal because your body won't make all the toxins. If you can eat during that time, you have the better chance of not starting disease. And then
So that's between 10 and 2, you say?
Yeah, so that's 10 and 2 during the day. And then associated with that is 10 and 2 in the middle of the night. And many people get their second wind at 10 p.m. Between 6 and 10, people get a little lethargic a little bit because that's kapha time associated with Soma, the moon. And that's a heavy time. That's the best time to go to bed is between 6 and 10. So I tell people be sleeping by 10 p.m. because between 10 and 2, the liver heals itself if you're sleeping because it's that transformational time. So instead of the reason you get a second wind is because it's transformational time. So you want to be sleeping before that kicks in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then kapha time between 6 and 10 in the morning is a heavier time. You wake up, that's a best time to exercise because it gets everything going. And what did I miss? Between 2 and 6. That's the Vata time. Vata is associated with that Marut energy, the air, the space, the intelligence. Many people experience during the day between 2 and 6 a little agitated, nervous because it's just a lot of motion.
Mm.
And then Vijay Mishra says, this used to say about going to bed, please be sleeping by 10. If you go to sleep between 10 and 2, you're not going to have great sleep. Between 2 and 6, you might as well stay up because
Yeah.
it's so bad. And so, that's an easy thing to follow because if you're sleeping by 10, the liver gets to heal. Rest is the biggest healer. It really is because it's the body that gets to heal itself. So I just harp on go to bed at 9:30. And I know that sounds simple, but it's a frequency thing, right? It's a vibrational
The
thing.
frequency thing is, as is all of this, really a frequency thing. If you want to oversimplify it, is a frequency thing. And thanks so much for sharing this. It really feels as though what happened to you in 2018 really up leveled your game in terms
Yeah.
of helping people and gave you this really
Hmm.
this understanding of this issue of EMFs, obviously, which you only get having experienced it directly, and being and that puts you in this position of being able to help people and
Yeah.
understanding the problem and understanding what they're going through. You really are a fountain of knowledge on all of this. It's this, bringing this Ayurvedic world and knowledge into applying it to this these EMF challenges that people are
Yeah.
experiencing. And so, yeah, it's so very happy to have spoken to you today, and that you've been
But
able
I
to share
just
this.
have to say, I have to interrupt. It's not me, it's this lineage and Dr. Mishra, Vijay Mishra. This isn't mine.
Yes. Well, very, very modest of you. And I want to encourage people to go to your website, somaradiantwellness.com.
Yeah.
And we're going to put some information on the page where this interview is going to go out. So people are going to be able to, well, click through. I think that's the best thing, and book
Yeah.
a consultation with
Yeah.
you, because it's a free consultation. And, you can't help everybody, but some people are going to be drawn to you having listened to this interview, and others aren't. But those that are, then that's what we want, is that you to be able to help them if that's what they want.
And if people feel that they can't afford me, do it anyway because I'll give you a couple tips.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, we can't say any fairer than that.
Oh, and I wanted to tell you, I'll send you that hyperlink to get the Prana Flow because it's not live on the PowerPoint.
Yeah. Fantastic. Listen, Dr. Lisa Raskin, thank you so much for sharing today. Thanks for doing this work. And it's wonderful what you've shared and what the work that you're doing. Thank you so much.
It's great to meet you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, listener and viewer. My name is Lloyd Burrell. Until next time, electricsense.com. Have a great day. Thanks. Take care. Hope you enjoyed this. Thank you. Bye bye.